we'll like to start off by giving our honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, Ruel. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I'm Zahab. Well, it's not about me. We are the GMS Mississippi camp. All right? And we would like to go into a topic within this live stream, called Jacob and Esau parallels. Because biblically, the people who are called Jacob and Esau today in modern times are called the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Americans and the so-called white man. Okay? But a lot of stereotypes that have been placed on us, a lot of stereotypes that have been put on the 12 tribes as a stigma, like eating watermelon, chicken, even drinking beer, drinking liquor. All right, a lot of things that's been attached to the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. Guess what? Esau, Edom, it applies to you. And we can open up with a scripture that we're gonna explain why it applies to you, man.
Yeah, so this is Genesis 25 and 21, to just give us some history on it.
Yeah.
And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, "If it be so, why am I thus?" And she went to inquire of Yahweh. Verse 23. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from your bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Yep, the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So we know historically from the teachings of the apostles, man, starting with Elder Abba Bivens to Elder Apostle Tahar, that the 2 nations of people that are in Rebekah's womb, all right, Jacob and Esau, the so-called black and so-called white man. And we know when it says 2 manner of people, those fraternal twins, they had 2 different dispositions, 2 different natures. But they also have parallels and things in common with each other because they came from the same father. All right?
That's right.
So the reason why, and we're from the South, so we see it firsthand. Esau loves watermelon.
Right.
Contrary to those minstrel show cartoons, all right, where they caricaturize us as being these people with over-exaggerated features, just monstrously chowing down on watermelon. Esau, you love watermelon too. You go to those farmers markets first thing in the morning, and when watermelon is in season, you love it more than us, man.
Right.
All right?
Fried chicken.
You love fried chicken more than, or just as much as us. Sports, because it's not a so-called black culture. It's really a Southern culture.
Right.
But who makes up the face of the South? The so-called black and white man.
That's right.
We talk about the deep South, like Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia. That's the so-called black and so-called white man, which is really spiritually that's like the womb of Rebekah. The South is metaphorically like the womb of Rebekah.
Right. Exactly.
Now, yeah, I'm just saying, like, you go to those different drive-through lines, like Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's,
right.
Churches, Popeyes, things of that sort. You mainly see just Jake and Esau there.
Yeah.
Those drive-through lines. You rarely see Moab or Elam or anybody of those particular nations. It always going to be those particular dispositions, Jacob and Esau.
You're right, brother. You never hear about a so-called East Indian, which is Elam. You never hear about them eating fried chicken. You never hear Moab bragging about fried chicken. Moab sells us chicken, but you don't see them chowing down on chicken like that.
And even when you go to like places like Cracker Barrel,
Yep.
you see Jake and Esau.
Yep.
Piccadilly,
Yep.
you see Jake and Esau, man.
And,
Why? Because we come from the same man, which was Isaac.
And it's heavy, man. Cracker Barrel, them little breakfast joints, right? It's full of bread. Flat bread.
Yeah.
The scriptures, it speaks about waffles. It actually speaks about cakes and waffles, showing you that's Hebrew culture. So Jacob and Esau in the South love pancakes. We love waffles. We love toast. All right, but the scriptures goes into flatbread, unleavened bread, cakes, what do you call it? Wafers.
Right.
I didn't mean to say waffles. Wafers. Yeah, wafers is in the scriptures. Okay, so like the brothers going into, man, you named it those breakfast joints. and it's mainly Jacob and Esau. Like I said, they sell flatbread, cakes, wafers.
Right. I've never seen Elon nor Ishmael at Cracker Barrel.
And another
Or
thing,
Piccadilly. Never.
And you know what? Another thing too, those breakfast places like Another Broken Egg and IHOP, what comes with those cakes? Syrup.
That's right.
But instead of syrup, we use what? Honey.
That's right.
So you got honey and cake, honey cakes.
Right.
That's biblical. Let's go back to the east.
That's it.
You know?
Got you, see.
Go ahead.
This Exodus 16:31, and the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey.
It was like wafers made with honey, man. A honey biscuit. Now, what do they give away for free at the fair? Biscuits and syrup. All right, and who's the main customer there? Jacob and Esau, the so-called black and the so-called white man. So you got the fried chicken. Now the scriptures speak about the chicken with fine oil and flour, or the quail with fine. Okay, it doesn't say chicken. Let me stop that. But it says quail,
Yeah.
and it says with fine oil and flour. What is that? It's fried chicken.
Right.
Then we get into the wafers with honey. All right, that's a honey biscuit, man.
Yeah, because even when Popeyes had that chicken and biscuit shit,
Yeah.
you saw who was in the lines. It was Jake and Esau.
Jake and
It
Esau.
wasn't only Jake, it was Esau as well, man. So they got this stigma, like they don't like watermelon, they don't watch sports and drink beer, but they do the same shit.
Yep.
They love soul food too. You got this place in Kent called Mama Hammond's, right?
Yeah.
Esau brags about how good that food is, man.
Well, the glory of soul food is really from it being consumed by the so-called white man.
Right,
Big Mama in the kitchen,
right.
or I forgot the stereotype for Jake, her male counterpart, like the smiling Jake on a honey.
Agent Maya.
What's about the man?
Oh, my bad.
No, you good. But no, the Jakes that cook soul food, they really been pedestalized by Esau. You know, it's Esau that love Big Mama's cooking. You know, it's Esau that love the so-called black man's cooking, man. You know?
So when you go into that term parallel, according to the Etymon online, it goes into lying in the same plane, but never meeting in either direction. So if I can get a precept just to back that up, we go to Genesis 25 and 23 again. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in your womb that play, right?
Yep.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated vowels, going back into the definition, but never meeting in either direction, because we're 2 manner of people. They're from a carnality base, and we're spiritual man.
Yep.
Right? So again, back into Genesis 25 and 23, and Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from your bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And I got a link in precept going into the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. Of course, the rich man was symbolic for the international bankers, beginning with the Rothschilds, and Lazarus was symbolic for the nation of Israel, beginning with the elect. Now, this is the point. Luke 16 and 26, and let me just give a refresher or parallel. Lying in the same plane, but never meeting in either direction. So let's go to Luke chapter 16 and verse 26. And besides, there is a great chasm, which is what? An opening, separating us. No one can cross over to you from here, and no one can cross over to us from there.
Yep.
You know, that's pretty much the list of it. So yeah, we're so similar, but yet we're so different.
Yeah, because the difference is Jake is a plain man dwelling in tents, right?
Right.
So a lot of times Jake just be walking up and down the street in his hood. Jake could be in his house. Jake could be on a porch. You know, the so-called Italians, they got that same disposition. But Esau was an outdoorsman.
Right.
You know, he's a man of the field. Like, going back, the South is like the womb of Rebecca. Because in the South, Esau has a hunting culture that's just unparalleled, no pun intended.
And I'm glad you made that point about the so-called Italians, because they're not hunting. You know, you don't see them decorated in camouflage, and guns when it's time to hunt deer and things of that nature. When you watch these old movies like The Godfather or Goodfellas, they're hanging out there on the block like Jake.
That's right.
Showing you they're Jakes.
They're straight up Jakes, man, in every way. And Esau, he's an outdoorsman. All right, he gets off on getting a kill, man.
That's right.
He has to a science how to trap any game that he hunts, man.
Bloodthirsty.
He's bloodthirsty, man. Speaking of bloodthirsty, he likes uncooked meat.
That's right.
So showing you that this is a different type of people, whereas Jake, they like, you know, inside joke, you know, Jake like everything well done, man. You know, Jake like everything fully cooked through, you know.
Hey, they remind you of that movie, like you stated earlier, about the mafia, the Bronx Tale. They show you those so-called Italians, where really Sicilians, they was out there on them stoops. You know, hang on the block. And it takes me right into Isaiah 51:20. Now sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets. As a wild bull in a net, they are full of the fury of the Lord Yahweh, the rebuke of our power. So that's why you see Jakes on little corners like that, because it goes right back to those curses. Until the people fit into the spirit.
And then when you go into like Godfather Part 2, when you had Michael Berry and of course it was actually the Don when he was when actually his mom was about to bury his father, which was her husband. It was a second line. You had the casket, you know, basically held up, and you had instruments, people playing instruments in front of the casket. So if you fast forward to this time frame now, you think of a second line in New Orleans, which further made me believe in the spirit they had to be Levites. That's Levi. Levi knew that, man.
Hey, well, because I've made a beautiful assessment. He said, like, you know, we know a lot of Jakes in New Orleans are Levi, right? He was talking about Birdman, right? He was talking about his brother with the lazy eyes. He was like, Slim, he said he looks just like an Italian. He got that disposition like an Italian Godfather type. It's just that this dark skin, man. But whenever they running down south in New Orleans, it's like they're running a mafia, man. You know?
And when her days to be delivered, back in Genesis 25:24, fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, but they called his name Esau. Because
he wanted to get away from this stigma of being red, and he calls himself the so-called white man. But really, he's red. When he first comes out the womb, what color is he? He's red. And when he displays any extreme emotion, what color is he?
Red.
He's red.
That's right.
When you slap him, he's red. So that's talking about Esau Edom.
That's right. No pigmentation.
In contrast to Jacob, they didn't have to say his name because it was known in the ancient world that all normal pigmentation is pigment. It's brown.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Isaac was 80 years old.
Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Going back to I wanted to make a point too. It said Jacob had his heel, which that was indicative of Jacob taking the kingdom from him.
That's right.
All right, but then going back to Esau was a cunning hunter. Esau has a whole hunting culture, man.
Science behind it.
It's a science behind it. That's why it says he's a cunning hunter, man. All right, and he was a daddy's boy. He was his daddy's son. Isaac really fucked with him, man, because of that skill.
Because to be cunning, you have to be crafty. What Esau does, like if he's duck hunting, he have an instrument making duck signs. You know, he camouflages himself with the environment. All that goes to cunning, being crafty. Right? Or he'll put deer sip on him, you know, and things of that nature. Or he'll put a damn deer stand in the middle of nowhere and drop deer feed or deer food around that stand so he can pick them off from 100 yards away. That's craftiness.
Crafty.
That's why it goes to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. How he was more subtle than any beast in the field. I think where subtle goes to like art and deception.
That's it. That's right. So back in the scripture, Genesis 25:28, and Isaac loved Esau, but because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Jacob, and Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Verse 30, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me prey you with that same red pottage for our faith. Therefore was his name called Edom.
Edom means red.
That's right.
Out of warm,
Right.
red. You know?
That's it. So basically the point of the lesson was showing you, although we came from the same fashion, the same sector, which was Isaac and Rebecca, but at the end of the day, we're different.
Yeah.
Right? We like the same things, but we're still different because it goes back to that spiritual makeup that Yahweh Hashem Ashah has bestowed upon each and every nation. Going into the nation of Edom and the nation of Israel, Jacob.
We have similarities and we have differences. Like, you know, you might go to a country club, right?
Right.
You walk in and all you hear is Jake music.
Right.
There was, you know, I went to a little country club some years ago. They ever playing 2 Chainz and shit.
Right.
You know how you walk in like, man, it's an all Edomite spot. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
They love our music, man.
Right. That's a good point.
You know?
Or when you travel overseas,
Yeah.
maybe where Jake be at.
Yep.
You know, how many times we left the country, we seen Esau there too. Why is that?
Yep.
You know?
Yep. So we have similarities and we have differences because we came from the same man. So a lot of the nations are Hebrews, like Elam is Hebrew. Moab is Hebrew. Ammon is Hebrew. The water. You know, Ishmael is Hebrew. All right. But Jacob and Esau were in the same womb or the same mother. Came directly from Isaac as opposed to coming directly from, say, Abraham. So now Jacob and Esau has the most similarities, man. All right.
So Jeremiah 23:40, and I will bring an everlasting reproach upon you, and perpetual shame should not be forgotten. That reproach goes to like that public disapproval.
Yep.
You know how Esau, they always make us as a negative step, put us in the forefront as big lips.
Yeah.
Eat watermelon and fried chicken. Meanwhile, your ass right there in the drive-thru doing the same thing.
Yeah, man.
Farmer's market shopping for watermelon.
Yep.
Like you said, like Esau be checking the watermelon, be knocking on it.
Yeah.
Like the same technique and everything.
Yeah.
Esau, man, your cover's blown. We once walked into a Buffalo Wild Wings as a unit, and Esau was so tapped in with them wings that they didn't realize 10 so-called Negroes had walked into the building.
Sucking on the bone.
Sucking on the bone. Yeah, man. So nah, man, y'all niggas too, man. You know. And then look, y'all get the liposuction to get bigger lips. Y'all try to get a tan. You know, y'all make it ever get a tan. So like, nah, y'all are Hebrews. Your daddy black. You are your daddy's son. And you got some of his characteristics, man.
Yeah, bro, that's beautiful because what Eve do, she want the big asses.
Yep.
And the liposuction, it's like the smaller stomachs or the smaller midsection. But Esau women, they do the same thing.
They do the same
They
shit.
inflate their lips.
Yep.
They want their nose bigger.
So in one breath, you control the science, and you will say in your science that the features that we have are dominant features. But in the same breath, you stigmatize it.
Right.
But in the same breath, you envy it. You're covetous of it.
Deuteronomy 30:7, and Lord Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So you're going to be them niggas eating chicken and watermelon and stuff like that. You put your ass making fun of you. You know what I'm saying? Like how you did us in this society. Like that's really like a really public disapproval of us all nations. You got Jake with the black face and stuff like that. These other nations making fun of. It's going to be turned around on you very soon.
Yeah.
Also, correction, yeah, these Edomites, they don't really do anything to their noses, but it's mainly their lips.
It's their lips, man. It's their lips. It's their skin. They got tanning salons.
That's right.
If it was so bad to have melanin, why do you have tanning salons, man?
Right.
See, there was no so-called black supremacy in your kingdom. So we know why Eve get her skin bleached, because she's a slave to so-called white supremacy. So she's a slave to the Edomite standard of beauty. But you've never had propaganda to say that you not having melanin was a curse. So why do you make an effort to get melanin? You know in your spirit you're cursed, man. All right? So that's pretty much the point, man. Y'all like chicken too. And this should have been the name of the lesson, man.
Rename it, boy.
Yeah, we're going to rename it, man. Y'all like chicken too, man. Hey, but with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Shura Kakwadash. Double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Abba Babal, Come Yashala, Shalom.